In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial on how to cut this stylish monostrap cut together A-line dress. So to start, the first thing you need is to go ahead to draft out your full measurement. So I'll be using the length of this pattern paper as the full length of my dress. For the total length, I've marked the shoulder to bust, under bust, waistline, then 7 inches to get your hip point. Now place your tape at the waistline and get your knee point. It is very important for this dress because it's more like an A-line dress, right? Slash mermaid dress that is free at the lower part. Then mark your gown length. So after marking this, I'll go ahead to mark my shoulder divided by 2. Right. So what I'll do is from that point that I marked, I'm going to measure the extension for the cut together dress. So I'm using 3 inches. Go ahead to measure yours, and from that 3 inches I came down by 1 inch. Now I'll go ahead to mark a basic neckline of 3 inches. If I just mark out a basic neckline of 3 by 2 inches first for this pattern, and I'll go ahead to place my ruler, my curved drill to connect. I'll just go ahead to connect from the neckline all the way to the 1 inch I have at that shoulder, that is at the sleeve extension, right? And I'll connect. The next step is to find your chest line, which is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, and I'll go ahead to draw out a straight line there. So after marking that, I'll go ahead to connect what I have at this 3 inches extension after the shoulder towards the lower part of the chest line. Now this 3 inches is not a standard, just measure whatever you want to come down from. So if the 3 inches is okay for you, go ahead to use it. Go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4, then add your sewing allowance to the pattern, right? You can use any sewing allowance of your choice, and then I'll connect from the sleeve all the way to the measurement at the bust. Here I'll mark my under bust circumference divided by 4, add my sewing allowance. Mark my waist circumference divided by 4, add my sewing allowance. Then mark my hip circumference divided by 4, add my sewing allowance. On the knee point, we'll come up by 2 inches from this point, and I'll go ahead to draw a straight line. Now if you look at that dress, you notice that the flay or the free lower part started above the knee line. So that's why I'm marking like 2 inches from there. And also when you want to cut your mermaid skirt, most times you come up by 2 inches or 2.5. Now whatever I have on the hip, I'll just minus like 1 inch from it because that part is a bit free. Although I'm still going to readjust it because this is not like a mermaid dress. It's not like a fully mermaid dress. It's just that the lower part is just a bit free. So I'm just going to connect this way and connect to the lower part. Now for your gown length at the lower part, you will use your hip circumference divided by 4 and then add extra 4 to 6 inches to it. Now I'll go ahead to connect, right? So after connecting, I'm having this mermaid look, but I'll still go ahead to blend it out by the side of the pattern. So this is what I have here, and when connecting to this knee point, I'll just straighten it up and connect it. It will now be like as if I'm drawing like a free line from the knee point. So you can equally go ahead to readjust that side of the knee if you're not okay with it. But if you notice at that part, it's not like it's tight at the knee, it's just after the hip you have this kind of free effect like a mermaid dress. So after cutting out, I'll open this up and then I'll reconnect the neckline here. I'll go ahead to transfer the measurement I have from the neckline to the shoulder here. That is measure from the midpoint, and I'll connect it back, right? So the next step now I'll take is to go ahead to outline my pattern before going ahead to like alter this pattern. I'll just go ahead to outline the shoulder. So at this other side, I don't need to draw out the shoulder because we are marking a monostrap at that point, right? So after marking, I feel like the measurement I have from the midpoint of my pattern to my shoulder is not the same. I'll place my tape and remark it here. Now after remarking, I'll now go ahead to reconnect. So I'll go ahead to draw out the chest line of this pattern and also the bust line. I'll be using it as a guide to mark that point, right? So from the chest line, I'll come up by 1 inch or 1.5, right? If you notice, it's sloped towards the armhole. So what you now do is to connect from the neckline all the way to the 1 inch you came up, or 1.5. This totally depends if how you want that side to be, right? So I'll just connect. So after I'm done connecting at this point, I'll place my tape, measure from the bust to the midpoint. So what I have is 8 inches, and I'll measure it here and mark. Now I'll now go ahead to reblend it to my pattern towards the armhole of the dress. Then I'll now go ahead to cut this out. So after cutting here out, we have gotten this monostrap area. Now let's go ahead to readjust the other side. So this part you'll be making like that strap to attach it. So that strap was actually gotten by probably adding fiber into your fabric and going ahead to twist it. So that is how that part was actually made. Now what I'll do is from this 3 inch, from my shoulder, now that 3 inches extension I added, I'll blend it out very well. Now you want to note where you have your bust circumference, your actual bust circumference, that is your bust divided by 4. That is where you will connect it, and not the allowance. So after connecting it, you now connect it like a curve towards the armhole area. Now blend this up, right? If not, the armhole area might gape, like you have an excess, you get. So just go ahead to reconnect very well and make sure that what you have there is not so wide towards the armhole, and it stops at the bust circumference. So I'll now go ahead to cut this way. So you can see me cutting through the sewing allowance towards the shoulder. So you now have this curve that by the time you stitch out your sewing allowance, you just have your armhole curve. After cutting the front, if you want to cut the back, you have to like place this way, that is, face this pattern this way, fold in any extra coming out from the side, then add a zipper allowance of 2 inches or 1.5 here. When you want to cut out this side, you fold this in and then add a zipper allowance to it also. Now go ahead to take out your bulge at the waistline. Now I didn't get to see the back. In case there's no zipper at the back, all you have to do is just place back your pattern and cut out, because this dress looks like it was made with a very stretchy fabric, so you can also sew without a zip.